You know, it's interesting, too, for Seattle. Jim Zorn has completed 3 passes to his outside receivers. Largent 1, McCullum 1, and Rabel 1. Sawyer's caught a pass. Jodat has caught 2, and Moore has caught 1, and that's it. And this is a passing offense.
Earlier this week, the Oakland Raiders signed as a free agent the former Nebraska All-American I.M. Hip, who was cut by the Atlanta Falcons. We have yet to see him play today, at least as far as running from scrimmage is concerned. But they're very high on him. In fact, wanted him before Atlanta. Second-year man out of the University of Wisconsin, averaging 24.9 on kickoff returns. He brought that one back 23, but it was 23 hard yards as Terry Renneker brought him down. And we have an injured Raider on the field. I think it's Arthur Whittington.
I'm not sure we'll see this, but Arthur Whittington was trying to make a block for Ira Matthews, and Mr. Whittington came out on the short end of the stick. Well, you see him going down. Matthews has given Oakland good field position, decent field position, on just about every punt return or kickoff return he has had today.
Got great balance. Got a 104-yard kickoff return against the San Diego Chargers. That is the longest in Oakland Raider history. And the first half statistics, Bob, nothing jumps out at me.
Except the 5 minutes more in time of possession, and I think most of that came in the final 6 or 7 minutes of the half when Oakland drove the ball all the way down the field and got no points. That's the positive side for Seattle.
Here we go, 25-yard line, just starting the second half as you've joined us. It has been a defensive struggle, and most people would not believe it. Van Egan to about the 30-yard line, carrying Butler and Jackson with him, and Van Egan continues to run very effectively. And again, we bring you back to the standings. I know it's only 8 games into the season, halfway point, but it is very important to note that everybody in the AFC West is still very much alive. The Chargers have to play Dallas tonight. If they should lose, they would be 5-3, the same record as the winner of this game, because Oakland and Seattle are both 4-3.
I mention also that Seattle in the last 2 years has dominated Oakland. Seattle has also not lost on the road this year.
Second down. Play action for Plunkett. Looking downfield. Has all day.
Branch
throws the home run ball for Branch, and he got it. He beat John Harris and Dave Brown.
Dan, this play covered 64 yards. It starts with great pass protection by the Oakland Raider offensive line, and there's no way that this ball should have been completed. Harris was right there. He just misjudged his jump. You see it go right between his hands. One Seattle defender tripped the other one, and it's a 64-yard reception. And good gravy. They're back in business quickly.
Speaking of big plays, Earl Campbell has just run 55 yards for a touchdown. Houston leads 10-3 over Cincinnati in the third quarter. I think I gave that score incorrectly in the first half. It's been 6-0. I am sorry. It was 3-3 at the half. Here's the give now to Van Egan as he stumbles to about the 13-yard line. Keith Butler knocked his legs out from under him, so a gain of about 4. It'll be second down and 6.
And another Seahawk down on the ground.
And again, Oakland is down where they should be getting 6 and had not had.
And as you said, Sam, there's no guarantee that Oakland will get it in the end zone here. They've had problems.
Michael Jackson has been the Seahawks' leading tackler with fumbles. He was drafted 3rd. Jackson of the Jackson Club. At the 12-yard line of Seattle. Hand off. Zorn wants to get something in motion.
Hendricks.
The only thing he gets in motion is the Oakland Raider defense. And Ted Hendricks is having another great day for himself.
He has done that for his entire career because of his size, 6'7", 225 pounds, and you have a running back trying to block him who may be 5'10" and 180 or 190. It really is a mismatch. And if there's one thing that has really cost Jim Zorn in Seattle any consistency in offense, it has been that blitz by Ted Hendricks.
That's a good point, Bob, because I think the guy blocking him on that occasion was Jim Jodat out of Carthage College at 5'11",
and about 35 pounds, too.
6 defensive backs being used now by the Oakland Raiders on 2nd down and 15.
Blitz again.
Zorn has time. Intercepted. Lester Hayes, the flag is down at the 30-yard line to the 27. Interception number for naught.
And Sam, he threw it right to Lester Hayes.
Nope, it's against Seattle.
Jim Zorn throws it during defense stiffens,
Expecting Plunkett to put the ball up. 8:59 to go, third quarter. The Raiders lead this game 6-0, and again they're looking for more. Here's Whittington squirting through a hole to the 5. And it closed very quickly with Manu Tuiasosopo making the big play to stop him at the 5. I got to come back and visit this Oakland front four, this Seattle front four, Bob, in 3 years after Green, Hardy, and Tuiasosopo have had a few seasons together under Jack Patera's tutelage. You know, he had the fearsome foursome in Minnesota, in Los Angeles, the Purple People Eaters in Minnesota. This guy has single-handedly built some of the most awesome front fours in the game.
Well, he'd like for them to be awesome right here, too, Sam.
3rd down and 5 at the 5. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Plunkett has all day in the end zone. Touchdown. Campbell.
Chandler's 5th touchdown reception of the 1980 season, and once again Jim Plunkett looking all over the field. I have a feeling that Chandler's about his 3rd or 4th receiver. Great protection, and at the end of the end zone, over Kerry Justin. He does get his feet back down in the end zone, and it's a touchdown.
39th career touchdown catch by Bob Chandler. Chris Farr will attempt to make it 16-0. The placement kick is up, and it is perfect. So the Oakland Raiders have not only done the job defensively, they have started to assert themselves offensively. Jim Plunkett throwing for yet another touchdown pass. It is 16-0 Raiders. We'll be back with their kickoff in a moment. And so following the interception by Lester Hayes, the Raiders moved 27 yards in 5 plays. And the touchdown pass from Plunkett to Chandler covered 5 yards. It is 16-0, and I would think Seattle's got to do something now.
Well, something that they haven't done all day long, Sam. Very little offense. You know, it's interesting that through this football game so far, Seattle has not converted on the 3rd down.
I hadn't realized that. Will Lewis at the 5. To the 15-20. Daylight to the 30, needs a block. 40, 45. In the Oakland territory and brought down from behind by Morris Bradshaw.
No, good gravy. I've seen speed for people 53 yards. Mirror image of the one he had earlier. The background. Watch the ground he makes up to make the tackle. Good Lord. Seattle only has 20 yards rushing in this football game. 0 in the second half.
Desperately for a big around the National Football into the have appreciably better field position.
They gained 19 yards on taking that penalty.
So at the end of 3 quarters, the score, the Oakland Raiders 16, the Seattle Seahawks nothing. Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy were in Oakland, California. In the Astrodome in Houston, Earl Campbell, 27 carries today. He has gone over 200 yards again, 202, 2 touchdowns. Houston leads Cincinnati 20-3. They're early in the 4th quarter. Here's Oakland, back to work. First down and 10. Manu Tuiasosopo makes a stop on Van Egan after he picks up a couple of yards. And again, let me update you on other games, and there are scores in almost every other game. Kansas City, after blowing a 10-0 lead, has gone back on top of Detroit, 17-10, a 1-yard run by Steve Fuller. Tampa Bay has scored again. Doug Williams, 2-yard run. They lead San Francisco 21-20. Philadelphia 14-7 over the Bears. Roland Harper, a 1-yard run. And as I told you, Houston leads Cincinnati 20-3. That's in the 4th quarter. Here it's 16-0 Oakland. Plunkett with a second down and 6. Plenty of time to throw the ball. Looking for Cliff Branch, and it's incomplete.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Pass interference against Dave Brown, who has played in every Seattle Seahawk game and probably is wishing he hadn't played in this one.
He put his hand on Cliff Branch's shoulder to keep him from going by, and it's going to be about a 50-yard penalty. Once again, 49-yard penalty. Great protection for Plunkett. And Cliff Branch has 9.2 speed. I'm not sure you'll be able to, great camera work following the ball, but I'm not sure you'll be able to see the hand of Dave Brown on Cliff Branch's shoulder. But nevertheless, Oakland with the ball, 1st and 10 on the Seattle 12.
I'll tell you what I can't believe is that Jim Plunkett, who was given up, as you said so aptly, for dead over in San Francisco, has come back with such tremendous life. 67% completion on his passing the last couple of ball games. 3 touchdown passes against Pittsburgh, 7 on the year. And he, I understand, even performed better than Pastorini in the preseason. Little out pattern. He's got Chandler. Yes! Touchdown, Oakland.
The effort to get in the end zone.
He really wanted. Back to cross the goal line.
Down of the day, and the Los Angeles Raiders.
He is the Oakland or Los Angeles Raiders. Chris Barr will attempt to make it 23-0. Placement, the kick is up and it's perfect. So the Oakland Raiders appear to be back with a vengeance. They are well on their way to their 3rd consecutive victory. They lead here now 20. Have found new life with the Oakland Raiders. We'll be back in a minute. Thank you very much, Bryant Gumbel. You are now caught up on every final in the National Football League. It's got to be a zoo for Mr. Gumbel every Sunday, I want to tell you, and all the people who have to work. While we're talking about Bryant Gumbel, there is nobody in the industry who does a better job under those circumstances. My was off to him. I'll tell you, I did a couple of pregame baseball shows. The hardest thing I've ever had in Chicago. Vince Evans, a 3-yard run, so down 14 all. And all of a sudden, it's a very important football game for Philadelphia after their big win over Dallas last Sunday. Here we go. Al Hunter and Jeff Moore, the setbacks. And the quarterback remains Jim Zorn with 14:01 to go and Sawyer in motion. 23-0 Oakland. Zorn off the fingertips of Monty Jackson. He looked like the intended receiver.
Largent's caught 1 pass on the day for 18 yards, and he has been totally shut down by Monty Jackson. But more importantly, I think more the picture of the game, Jim Zorn has been just flushed out of the pocket, bothered all day long by a great pass rush by the Oakland Raiders. Damn interesting. Seattle's only been shut out twice until today in their short career. In 77 versus New England, and last year versus the Los Angeles Rams.
On 2nd down and 10, they'll go with 4 down linemen, the Oakland Raiders. They bring in Willie Jones and Cedric Hardman and 5 defensive backs. The Seahawks counter with 3 wide receivers. Spinning to his left. Jim Zorn throws back against the grain, and it's caught by Steve Largent at about the 28 or 29-yard line. It depends on where they spot it. He'll be shy of the first down. 9 yards on the catch, and Zorn, the only way he can escape the pressure is to sprint almost to the sideline.
And you see the defensive coverage there. Total zone. Largent at the top of the screen comes back for the ball. Johnson slips. He's right behind him, though. There to make the tackle. I'm sure Al Davis is glad to see Monty have a good game. They gave up an awful lot for him. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. That's not Lawrence Welk. That's what they gave.
Trade, I know.
A 1 and a 2 and a 3. Third down in a little bit.
John Sawyer and Mark Bell, 2 tight ends, and Ron Essig in the slot. And now they get to Al Hunter trying to streak outside. He doesn't make it. Randy McClanahan, number 57, and Monty Jackson, 42, just strung the play out to the far sideline, and in fact Hunter may have lost a yard or two.
And the Seahawks have not converted. 0 for 11 in third downs today.
There are so many things that have happened in this game that if you had told me 2 hours ago they were going to happen, I would have mortgaged my wife and children on it.
Really?
Yes.
I'd say that's a pretty heavy bet.
Against it happening.
Yes. Well, they're going for it on 4th and a yard and a half.
Largent, Rabel, and McCullum, the wide receivers. 4th down and a very long yard. Zorn will throw for it. He has a man, and it's caught by McCullum, trying to get up and run with the ball at the 38. And they'll spot that he was down there, but Zorn got the first down, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the first third down conversion of the day for the Seattle Seahawks. They are now 1 for 12.
Although it was a 4th down conversion, and that's Sam McCollum's 4th catch of the day.
You're right. 10 yards on the play. My heart goes out to Zorn. I know he's got to be playing, and I don't want to make any excuses for him, but he's got to be playing with a lot of back pain. And now he's probably got a migraine headache with a score 23-0.
Well, I think, too, this Seattle Seahawks team relies so much on a great game by Jim Zorn. He just
breaks the tackle, needs one block. 35, 30, he's on his way. Lester Hayes from behind, and they bring him down at the 13. It'll be first down, the biggest play of the day for the Seattle Seahawks with 11 and great effort, and a flag is down. That'll be interference against Monty Jackson. The ball will come out to the 1-yard line. Sam McCullum, the intended receiver. It'll be first and goal for the Seattle Seahawks. I'm just afraid, Bob, they've started a wee bit too late.
Yeah, but they've been waiting for a play like this to ignite them all day long. It's a delay by McCullum. Largent was also out there, and for the first time, you don't see Oakland Raiders draped all over Jim Zorn. I don't understand what the call was there. I see no contact between the receiver and the defensive back. That is I think, a phantom pass interference. 42, Monty Jackson on the coverage, and well, anyway, first and goal for
Lawrence
the Seahawks.
McCutcheon making his first appearance for the Seattle Seahawks. In the backfield with Dan Dornick. McCutcheon wears number 30, and he gets the call, and he gets the touchdown. So Lawrence McCutcheon, who was traded by the LA Rams to Denver. Now we got a fight going on in the end zone. Ron Essig, number 64, and I don't know who he's messing with. It may be the stork Ted Hendricks. I think it is number 83. Well, I'm sure Hendricks has frustrated a lot of Seattle Seahawks today. But McCutcheon, who was cut by Denver, was picked up as a free agent by Seattle. In his first carry, scores the touchdown. 1 carry, 1 yard, 1 touchdown. That's a pretty good percentage. This is a straight dive play. Dornick with a good block up front. And McCutcheon just drives it into the end zone. There it is. Oh, Essig hit Hendricks. You could just see it off the corner of your screen after McCutcheon got into the end zone, and I'm sure Ted did not like it. Efren Herrera trying to make it 23-7. Placement by Zorn. The kick is up, and it is good. And so with 10:52 to go, could they? Is it possible? I would expect an onside kick coming back here. They're not going to give up, Sam. We'll be back in just a moment. The big play, of course, was the long pass from Zorn to Largent. 80 yards in 6 plays, and Seattle's on the board. Here's the kickoff. He's a master at it. There's the onside kick, and Oakland has it at the 46-yard line. And Derek Jensen is the man who recovered the ball. quickly covered it up.
He looked like George Brett playing third base for the Kansas City Royals. A little late on the throw, but he kept it in front of him. Didn't allow it to get to the fences. Watch this stop by Jensen. If you can see it, it happens in a hurry. Oakland ball, 1st and 10 on the 45-yard line of the Seattle Seahawks, leading 23-7.
So the Kenny King and Derek Jensen are the running backs. I mean, it's just got to be 3 downs, and they got to get the ball back. They trail 23-7. Here's Plunkett, who's had another great afternoon. And the give to King, busting through a hole, taking a couple of tacklers to the 38-yard line. Harris and Simpson are the men who made the stop on him. San Francisco got a field goal from Ray Wersching, and late in the 4th quarter, the 49ers have forged back in front again. That has really been a seesaw battle.
8 yards on the carry, and when in doubt, Oakland goes over their trusty duo of Gene Upshaw and Art Shell.
Lions have come back to score again. They're tied at Kansas City's Arrowhead, 17 all. Seattle fans rooting for Detroit. Kansas City could get back in the AFC West in a hurry with a win. And King gets the first down as he crawls to about the 33-yard line, and Michael Jackson made the stop. And I'm just wondering, Bob, whether or not the heart of the Seattle defense has been taken out here.
Well, they've been on the field for an awful long time today.
Houston with a field goal by Tony Fritsch. And they've got a laugher over Cincinnati after winning a very close game earlier in the year at Riverfront Stadium.
And Campbell has now gained over 400 yards in the last 2 football games the Oilers have played. You think Dave Casper helps that offense down there, Sam?
I would think so. But they paid a lot to get him. 9:30 to go in the game. Plunkett with all day. Throws it over the middle clock. Jensen to the 25. And he's about a yard shy of the first down as they throw him back. But a good catch by Derek Jensen around his shoe tops.
Gee, Sam, Oakland's rubbing it in here, leading 23-7, 9:17 left. 1st and 10, and they throw the football for about 9 yards and maybe 34 inches.
I think they probably have been dealt some frustration over the years in losing 4 straight to Seattle, and I think they've accused Seattle at times in the past of perhaps rubbing in their victories. And so the Raiders do not forget. Football teams do not have what you call bad memories, do they?
Especially head coaches.
Yeah.
Or owners of franchises. First down Oakland, they do it by the best. That'll make somebody a little upset in Seattle.
From the 23-yard line of Seattle, Oakland already leading 23-7, looking for more. Well, Jack Patera said earlier in the week that Oakland is playing the best football in the NFL over the last few weeks, and he sure is right, isn't he? Plunkett looking in the end zone. Oh! Chandler, what a remarkable catch!
Look at the smile on his face.
There is no other word to describe the catch by Bobby Chandler than remarkable. He tipped it around and caught it going down.
Look at the smile on his face. And in the first half, he was out with bruised ribs or something. Looking at the rest, his 3rd touchdown reception of the day. And he gets it on his left hand. You'll see the pattern.
Fred Biletnikoff is alive and well in Oakland again.
Watch this catch. Watch his left hand go up. He stops the flight of the football, catches it by the point, balances it for a minute. Are you sure that man's not part seal? Ooh, how'd he do that?
His 3rd touchdown catch of the day, the 41st in his career. And you think that every time he catches one, Chuck Knox in Buffalo doesn't cringe a bit? The extra point by Barr is up and good. And so the fate of the Seattle Seahawks would appear to have been sealed on that one. A 23-yard touchdown pass, the 3rd of the game, from Jim Plunkett to Bob Chandler. It's a 30-7 game. Oakland trying to go to 5-3 on the year. 45 yards in 4 plays. It took a little over 2 minutes, 2:01 to be exact. 23 yards on the pass to Bob Chandler, his 3rd touchdown catch of the game. And here's Jesse Green, 3 yards deep in the end zone. He will not come out with it. Seattle will go to work from its own 20-yard line. And the Seahawks are going to have to regroup a little bit after this one.
For the game, Sam. For the game, the Seattle Seahawks have gained 20 yards total rushing the football. 0 yards in the second half. Jim Zorn, 13 of 25, 192 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns, and of that 192 yards, 54 of it was in one play to Steve Largent.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't scrap the whole offense. This club has been good enough to go 9-7, 9-7. They knocked Oakland out of a playoff spot last year on the final Sunday of the season. They are an excellent football team. They're 4-3. This is the best start in the history of the franchise. 4-3 at this point. And so they'll be 500 after 8 games, but certainly not out of the race, especially if San Diego loses tonight. John Sawyer for about 4 yards. Wrestled down there by Big John Matuzak, 72.
Sam, all of what you say is true, but I am sure that the people that run the Seattle franchise and head coach Jack Patera are realizing that this is for second place in the AFC West. They expected a lot more out of their team today.
And I think that's true. From the 24-yard line, Zorn throws it back. The screen is to Dornick. He's got blockers. 25-30. And out of bounds shy of the 35, but they get a Seattle first down and they stop the clock. Run out by Mike Davis.
What's so funny?
Our producer, Roy Hammerman, comes up with these great... He said he runs like a doorknob.
Jack Patera's not laughing.
No, there's nothing funny back in Seattle. Larry Brinson is into the lineup. Number 36, and he and Dornick are in the backfield. I bet Hammerman stays awake all night thinking of clever little things to say when the opportunity presents itself. He had a great one on Jodad. I just didn't have the heart to use it earlier in the game. 3 wide receivers, first down. Zorn back to pass again. Better protection, throws it, and he overthrew his intended receiver, Steve Rabel, who is coming across the middle. Bob, I wonder if that sun, which covers about a fourth of the field on the far side, really affects a receiver who's running out of the shade into the sunshine.
Yeah, it has an effect on the receiver, but Jim Zorn overthrew him. It has nothing to do really with the shadow on the field.
So the clock stops again with 8:07. We got plenty of time left in this football game. Unfortunately for Seattle, they're down 30-7.
Plenty of time for what, Sam?
They'll need 4 scores to get back in it.
Yes, they will. Now, how do they do that?
I don't know.
All right.
Second down and 10. The ball spotted at the Seattle 34. And Zorn throwing on every down. Rolling left, trying to get somebody downfield. He's got a man wide open. It'll be a touchdown. The pass to Largent, and Seattle has a quick touchdown. 67 yards. Jim Zorn to Steve Largent. He almost ran out of gas.
I told you this game wasn't over, Sam. All they got to do is throw it a long way down the field to Steve Largent and get in the end zone. Wow. Incredible performance by those two guys. Over the last 4 years, they've done an awful good job of hooking up on things like this. Watching him motion Largent down the field. Full trajectory. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. A 54-yard reception for the biggest play of the game, and now that one.
And they beat the nickelback Wayne Osteen, the former Los Angeles Ram out of San Jose State. Well, Largent hasn't given up, and neither has Zorn. And it's quite apparent a few other Seattle Seahawks still think they have a chance. Just under 8 minutes to play as Herrera puts it up and good.
Offsides Oakland. I'm sure they'll take the extra point.
Cal Lepore, the referee, number 5, in the middle of that huddle with Derek Ramsey. And here's the official announcement.
The point is good. Offside defense. The penalty enforced on the kickoff.
Still have great eyes, Mr. Crumpy.
It's pretty easy to see a 6'7", 225-pound Ted Hendricks jump off sides.
We'll be back to the Oakland Coliseum in just a moment. Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy back in Oakland. As I just heard somebody say a moment ago in the broadcast booth, if Seattle can score in 56 seconds, at that rate, they can score 7 more touchdowns.
Uh-oh, look at this. Look at this. Onside kick.
Herrera, everybody shifting to the left side, and Herrera floats it in the middle. Lester Hayes has it, falls down at the 35, and I don't think that's what Efron wanted to do with the ball. He was looking for the seam, but I think he got it a wee bit too far downfield. And Lester Hayes had plenty of time to cover up on the football, and Herrera goes back to the sideline dejectedly as Oakland has the ball and the lead 30-14.
I don't think Jack Patera is happy with that effort either by Efron Herrera. talking to the young man. What else do they have to do, though?
You know, before today, Bob, he was successful in 7 of 11 onside kicks. That is a remarkable percentage.
He is a very gifted athlete. He's thrown a pass. He's caught a pass. He's run from there. He's done just about everything.
Both he and Herman Weaver were original draft choices of the Detroit Lions. Whittington trying to get outside at the 37-yard line. Stopped there by Terry Beeson, 58, and John Harris, 43. Keith Butler, I think, had a chance to throw Whittington for a loss. Now Oakland goes to work on the clock. 7.5 minutes to go in the game. They have a big lead, but they don't want to give it back to them too early.
And Seattle will begin trying to tackle the football. They'll come up with the football any way they possibly can.
Gain of 2 by Whittington, 2nd down and 8. And it would be a surprise to see Plunkett put the football up at all before 3rd down.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He doesn't want to stop the clock on an incompleted pass, Bob. Here's Van Egan for a couple of yards, and a flag is down. The clock stopped with 7:03 to go.
Sam, you consider the time, though, and Oakland has been able to throw the ball holding Oakland on a running play. Oakland's been able to throw the ball all day long. Why stop now?
Holding, 63, offense, penalty fine, 3rd down.
So they forsake the 10-yard penalty to try to keep the down box moving. Here's our update on scores again. Houston continues to blow out Cincinnati in the Astrodome. That's 4th quarter. San Francisco clinging to a 2-point lead just across the bay. Kansas City back on top of Detroit, 2017.
Well, that's a team that's certainly come on of late, has it not?
They have played very, very well. And a win today puts them at 500. They'll be tied with the loser of this game. Here's Plunkett on 3rd down. The rush is on. Jacob Green missed him. Now Plunkett. Green came back to get him at the 32-yard line. And the clock will stop on the sack. And with just under 7 minutes to go, Seattle gets it back, and you can hear the buzz go through this crowd, Bob.
I believe that's the first sack of the day for the Seattle Seahawks, too. Green has the initial pressure on the outside on Henry Lawrence, and he kind of flushes him out of the pocket. And all of the receivers downfield are looking upfield. No one around, and Green comes back with a right cross to the chest, and quarterbacks are smart. They get on the ground in a hurry.
So Will Lewis will try to get Seattle in good field position for Zorn and Largent again. Ray Guy standing at his 20-yard line, and this man could, of course, kick it through a wall.
I would imagine, too, they try to block this punt to get the ball down in Oakland's territory as far as they possibly can. Sam McCullum got one last week.
And Guy got it away, and he had to hurry it, and what a great punt it is. What a fabulous punt. Lewis back, fumbles the ball at the 10, falls on it at the 13-yard line.
Nothing's going right for this team.
He heard footsteps. He tried to pick it up and then heard the pursuit. Morris Bradshaw downed him at the 12-yard line. A punt of 54 yards, so Guy still has it in him. The first ever first-round draft choice of a punter in the national
on the punt, and also about an hour and a half on the hang time.
Here it is again. Lewis backing up, fumbles the ball. He'll peek up. Look at. He looks up and sees Bradshaw and wisely falls on it. Here's our first final from a late game. Nick Lowry's field goal of 40 yards with 1:14 to play has given Kansas City a 20-17 win over Detroit. So the Chiefs are back to 500 at 4-4. The Lions have lost 3 straight. At the 12-yard line, Zorn goes to work. Good protection over the middle. Drop. In and out of the hands of Dan Dorning.
They have pressured Jim Zorn all day long. Cedric Hardman, Willie Jones, Matusak, Browning, Kerr, Reggie Kinlaw. They have just really upset the timing of the entire Seattle offense. And even though Jim Zorn has got a lot of yards, 273 yards to be exact, more than 100 of that have come in 2 passes to Steve Largent.
So his statistics, you are saying, I think, in short, will look good at the end of the day, despite the fact they came at the wrong time.
Well, there were also either 4 or 5 sacks on the day for Oakland, and that's really been the story of the game.
2nd down and 10 at the Seattle 12. Hendricks fakes the blitz. Zorn throws it out in the flat. Dornick trying to get running room. 15. Spun around. falls forward to the 21-yard line, and he'll come up about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards shy of the first down, and the clock continues to run. We're under 6 minutes to go, a gain of 9. It'll be third down and a very long one now for Seattle in their hurry-up offense. Rod Martin made the stop, along with Lester Hayes. Hendricks, the outside linebacker, is lined up on the inside. Zorn will throw it on third down, and he fires it. It's intercepted. Lester Hayes' second interception of the day, his 6th of the year, and that should just about do it.
Total domination of the Oakland defense on the Seattle offense. They've restricted the rollout that Seattle's been so successful with for the last 3 or 4 years. And Zorn, I don't think, saw Hayes at all. Largent was standing there, but Hayes came out of nowhere. Look at Matusek. Believe me, when you get, look at there, when you get a defensive lineman in your face most of the day, you know when they're about to be there, and it's just disrupted him enough for those interceptions and a lack of real offense.
And on that graphic you saw, Lester Hayes has both of them. This is a young man who led all the cornerbacks in the National Football League with 7 interceptions last year. And he is just an outstanding prospect. And along with Monty Jackson, they are solid at the corner. Here's Whittington with a hole to the 20, the 18. He stopped there by Simpson and Hardy, 42 and 75 respectively. Give Seattle credit, Bob. They certainly did not quit in this game. And had Zorn been able to get one more up on the board, a 30-21 game, and had he been able to do it fast enough, we might have had some finish.
Any points they might have scored in the first half, I think, would have helped the team immeasurably.
Right, absolutely.
And because the defense, as you said, has done a great job, and this is a team that really has not had a lot of defense.
Gain of 5, second down and 5. Both Branch and Chandler come to the near side. Defense, it seems, has been on the field for an eternity for Seattle. And Plunkett on the give to Van Egan. First down and more to about the 11. Harris and Beeson are there. And Michael Jackson, number 55. And they get to recycle the down box again. 7 yards on the carry. And the clock continues to move inexorably toward the end with 4.5 minutes to play.
Sam, you mentioned how much the Seattle defense had been on the field. We'll ask our statistician to find out for us before the game is over how many plays Oakland has run in this football game. Find out exactly how long Seattle has been on the field defensively.
Ted, would you find out exactly how long Seattle has been on the field defensively? Thank you.
In plays. He's doing it.
First down at the 11-yard line. Van Egan trying to get outside. He started up the middle and then cut it out and reached about the 8.5 where Butler and Harris met him head on and pushed him back. But Oakland is very content here just to work on the clock. The points not being important. They lead by 16, requiring 3 Seattle scores, and we're now under 4 minutes to play. And the entire field now is in shadows. A little light is leaking through the light standards here. The lights are turned on. Second down and 8. Whittington diving to the 5. I don't remember having called Bill Gregory's number much today, Bob. Do you? 77?
No, not really. Jacob Green has tried, but they have just been pushed to the limit, this Seattle defense, all day long.
I think the reason we haven't talked about Gregory is number 78 of the Oakland Raiders.
And he's at least 2 tackles in 1 uniform.
Art Shell, perennial All-Pro, now in his 13th year out of Maryland Eastern Shore. He is just phenomenal, and he continues to play to the same caliber. He and Upshaw on the left side.
He is listed at 6'5", 280. He is in excess of 280.
King trying to get outside. No, sir, not this time. Out of bounds, stopping the clock. Kerry Justin was there, as was Michael Jackson. Jackson, a very active linebacker. He's going to be a good one. And so these guys have not quit, and they stop the clock at 2:47 to go. It's 4th down and 7. And on the field comes Chris Barr to attempt his 5th field goal of the day. He's made 3 out of 4. And this will be nothing but a chip shot. See where the placement of the spot will come from. As you look at Tom Flores and Jim Plunkett on the sideline. This will be, Bob, no more than a 26-yard field goal attempt. Chandler will spot the ball. Let's stay right at the 15. Make it a 25-yard attempt by Barr. His 4th of the day if good. The placement, kick is up, and it's perfect. 25-yard field goal by Chris Barr. A flag is down, however. A penalty marker is down. Barr indicates it's against Seattle. Do they want to take the points off the board?
All of a sudden, we've been
Offside, 55 defense. Penalty decline. We have a field goal.
all of a sudden, Sam, we've also been invaded by about 3,000 seagulls. I wonder if they paid to get in here. That's
Al Davis cued the Seagulls for the victory celebration. There you see him flying above the Oakland Coliseum. I'll tell you what I like most about that shot. Can we go back up there again, Director Dick Klein? I'll tell you what's great. You folks watching in parts of the country where there may not be blue skies, it is perfectly blue here in Oakland, California. And that is the pleasure of coming out here to do a game.
a fantastic day for everybody but Seattle in the Bay Area.
So with 2:44 to go, Oakland has a seemingly insurmountable 33-14 lead. The Raiders will go to 5-3 on the year. Seattle 4-4. And if San Diego should lose at Dallas tonight, Oakland will be in a first-place tie with the Chargers. And wouldn't that be lovely for Oakland Raider fans? They have earned it in recent weeks, I'll tell you that. They've gone out and done it. Nobody else has helped them. Oh, Green got blasted. Jesse Green got knocked down by Derek Jensen, number 31, an 18-yard return. As I started to say, Bob, Oakland hasn't relied on anybody else. They went out and beat San Diego. They went out and beat Pittsburgh, and they've done a number on Seattle today.
We talk so much about the Seahawk defense. Only 10 more plays. That's rather incredible. I thought there'd be a lot more plays run by Oakland as opposed to Seattle, but
the figures don't lie.
No, they do not.
So here's Zorn one more time from his 21-yard line. They have put 14 points on the board here in the fourth quarter, but it obviously came much too late. There he brings it in the backfield. He throws it over the middle, almost intercepted. Number 53, Rod Martin had the ball in and out of his hands, and the rush came right up the middle from Dave Browning, who's had 2 sacks on the day. In an outstanding football game, Dave must know that some friends and family back in Washington would be watching.
Yeah, well, they have been all over Jim Zorn. The offensive coaches of Seattle got to go back to the drawing board. Well, there's a difference. 8 minutes difference in time of possession on the Raiders' side, and 19 points up in the score.
It doesn't get any easier for Seattle next week. They go home to the Kingdome, where they haven't won in 3 appearances, to host the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Seattle has the 3rd toughest schedule. Fumbled by Zorn. The scramble is on, and Seattle's got it. Seattle has the 3rd most difficult schedule in 1980, Bob. Their opponents played to a percentage of .553 in 1979. That is the 3rd most difficult schedule.
Yeah, and don't they have 11 opponents who were in the playoffs last year?
Well, something like that. I don't know if that many.
Well, I tell you what else makes it bad is that Oakland has so dominated the Seahawk offense this week that Philadelphia watches the films of this game for next week, and they may do the same thing. Rush their defensive ends wide, try to bottle up Steve Zorn as best Jim Zorn as best they possibly can. There's no telling what this is going to do to the Seahawks.
So we've reached the 2-minute warning here at the Oakland Coliseum. It is all but over. 33-14. We'll be back with the final 2 minutes. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching Seahawks football on KING-TV, Seattle.
Jim Zorn on first down. Rolling left. Pressure's on. Back at the 5-yard line, and down he goes. The sack is number 6 of the day for the Oakland Raiders. He loses 12 yards, and here's the final from across the bay. Garo Yepremian has kicked a 30-yard field goal with 47 seconds to play. Tampa Bay 24, San Francisco 23. And Willie Young is down. That could be a blow to Oakland. He's just been a great pass rusher for them. Also, with about 2 minutes to play in Chicago, Tony Franklin has kicked an 18-yard field goal, and Philadelphia leads Chicago 17-14.
You mean Willie Jones, don't you?
What did I say?
Willie Young?
I meant Willie Jones. Thank you.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, Seattle is going to punt it here.
It is 4th down and a quarter of a mile, and Herman Weaver is on to kick it. And a frustrated Jim Zorn looks on, but he'll be back. You can count on that. Just a brilliant young quarterback and a great kid to boot, Bob.
He is also a young man who is very proud of his record as a quarterback. That's the backup quarterback. Sam Atkins there trying to, I suppose, be a shoulder for Zorn to cry on. He is very proud, and he knows how much his team and teammates rely on him. And to repeat that he has a bad back, and there's no telling what it did to him.
He went into this game having the second lowest percentage of interceptions, about just a hair over 3, meaning for every 100 passes he throws, he's only intercepted 3 times. And oddly enough, and it probably should have been an indication to us the problem he was having, he has been intercepted 3 times today. Ira Matthews standing back at the 50-yard line, awaiting his punt by Herman Weaver.
You know, you mentioned about Zorn's interception record. In the last 2 weeks, he had thrown the ball 56 times without an interception. And it all comes apart today in Oakland. Very inopportune time for him to have an off day, or for his offensive line not to really protect him. And that's where it starts. The offensive line protects Jim Zorn, gives him a chance to roll out. They can play with anybody. When they restrict the offense, and I suppose you should give credit to the Oakland Raiders, when you restrict the offense, that's a real advantage for Oakland, and they come up 33-14 victory.
Herman Weaver on the end line of the end zone, trying to get this one away, and he just did. And another great punt by Thunderfoot, driving Matthews back to the 45. He fumbles the ball, picks it up, has plenty of time, but goes down right on the spot. Before we leave the subject of Zorn, there is an old axiomatic expression in the NFL that quarterbacks get too much credit when they win and take too much heat when they lose, and I think this is a classic example. Do you not agree, Bob?
I agree. It's the failure of the offensive line in the first 2 quarters of this football game to adequately protect Jim Zorn that set the tone for the rest of the football game.
Another 50-yard punt by Weaver. And so Oakland will try to just run the clock out with 1:43 to play and a 33-14 lead. Chandler comes out, no sense risking injury to him. And I'm surprised to see Plunkett is still in there. But he is, you would think that maybe Flores would give their #1 draft choice, Mark Wilson, a little action here in the final 2 minutes, but apparently not.
For whatever reason.
Tackle made by Keith Simpson, number 42. The Raiders next week will host the Miami Dolphins. And they'd like to keep their winning ways intact. Their streak now extended to 3 games, and the prospect of moving into a first-place tie should San Diego lose tonight in the AFC West. However, if that happens, Kansas City and Seattle would still just be a game behind, along with Denver.
I would imagine, too, if you're an Oakland fan or an Oakland team member and you're giving away game balls, you'd give 1 to Ted Hendricks for the defense and 1 to Bob Chandler for the offense with his 3 touchdowns.
Derek Jensen, the ball carrier, and we're now under 50 seconds to go. And so Jack Patero will take this ball club up the Pacific Coast here to Seattle and try to regroup for the Philadelphia Eagles, who come into the Kingdome. I would think if there's something optimistic to look for as a Seattle fan, it's that while their 4-game winning streak on the road was finally broken, they can look forward to breaking their 3-game losing streak at home against Philadelphia next Sunday.
Yeah, that is a faint possibility. I suppose if you're looking for things that are on the positive side, that's it.
Some of the Oakland players are already walking off the field, namely the defense. Rod Martin, Hendricks, they've come down the tunnel way below us because the game is history. They will not snap it again. And the Oakland Raiders have pulled off a very, very impressive 33-14 win over Seattle before a crowd in excess of 50,000 here in Oakland. And you wouldn't think that this team was going anywhere, would you?
And they also break a 2-year losing streak against the Seahawks, which is psychologically very, very important for the Oakland Raiders and Mr. Al Davis.
Okay, for Bob Trumpy, this is Sam Nover bidding you goodbye from the Oakland Coliseum and reminding you once again our final score, the Oakland Raiders 33, the Seattle Seahawks 14. We'll be back in just a moment with our Budweiser NFL report after these messages from your local stations.